Hi everyone, Mike here with Merch by Amazon tips and tricks for beginners. Now, this won't be your standard, you know, uh, come up with better keywords, pay for ads, and all that kind of stuff video. What I'm gonna do is basically share some simple stuff that you might not have heard of before, and then more importantly, we'll look at social media and the power of Twitter and Pinterest specifically. Now, we'll also discuss some other things that you can do directly through merch and then that you can do outside of merch, like I said, through social media. But we'll look at some hard numbers when it comes to the power of Twitter and Pinterest. So stick around because, like I said, this is not your standard social media video. First thing I wanted to look at is the things that you can do directly through Merch by Amazon. So these are some ways to sell more items and to promote your listings. I've received a number of messages saying, you know what, I just recently got my account. I'm at a lower tier. What can I do? Help me out. And so I put this together because I remember actually what it was like. And now thinking back, after a year plus of working with merch, there are a number of things that I wish I did differently. So that's what I'm about to share with you. And if you've actually watched any of the other people talking about the same topic, they have mentioned these things. And I definitely try to do something different, but these are the things that I actually agree with other people. And the first thing is lower price. Advertise your, list your items at a lower price. This is again, I just want to make sure that we're understand what we're talking about. These are things that you can do directly through merch. I do agree with the people's opinions to lower the price here because the goal is not to make money at this point. It is simply to tier up. And that is something that I actually didn't understand at the beginning. When I was at a tier 10, tier 25, I was saying, you know what, I still like to make a few dollars here and there because I don't want to sell a shirt for 11.99 or 12.99. What's the point? Because the idea is that this is a business, right? You want to make some money. But I wasn't actually able at the time to think further down the line. I was what I would consider very short-sighted. So again, keep in mind, what is your goal? Your goal is to hit that tier 100, maybe tier 500, right? So how do you do that? You lower the price. Next thing you want to do is, if possible, if you have a few bucks that you want to spend, buy yourself out of these lower tiers. Now, uh, if you are living in the States, that's great because you can actually order shirts from Amazon.com. If you're in other countries and are working with merch, unfortunately, you won't be able to do that because Merch by Amazon still doesn't ship to a lot of different countries. And I won't get into, UK and Germany specifically. We can talk about that at another time. So I guess what I'm trying to say is if your cost of the shirt is I'm not sure what it would be right now, I guess 10.99 or 12.99, uh, and you're able to buy yourself out of these tiers, my advice is do it. I made the mistake of not doing that, and it actually took me a few months to get out of these tiers, and that I consider actually uh, time lost. So this is again directly through merch. Again, I definitely don't want to spend a lot of time talking about keywords, titles, uh, brand name. All of that is important. What I wanted to talk about is immediate things that you can do, right? And these are the top two things that I've kind of decided on after thinking about this for a while. What can you do through social media? Now, again, like I said, this is not your standard uh, list your items on Facebook, promote them, Share them on Instagram, of course. Of course, you need to do that. Facebook, Instagram, without hesitation. Especially if you have accounts with a lot of followers, if this is something that you've actually been cultivating for years, maybe you have a couple thousand followers, maybe even more. Absolutely, do not miss out on that opportunity. But here's something that I actually want to spend the rest of the time in this video talking about. That is Twitter and Pinterest. So underrated, so underestimated. And I'll show you exactly why I'm saying that. So Twitter and Pinterest, and I made a note here. These two social media platforms are what I would consider in a special category, uh, not because their power. Facebook and Instagram are probably even more powerful, but the reason that I'm saying this is because you do not need a large number of followers to be successful. If you have a huge number of followers on Facebook and Instagram, it's very easy to share your products with your followers, uh, get a discussion going, get a few likes and shares, and of course that's free promotion. But here's the thing: Twitter and Pinterest, you just simply need to be active on them for a certain amount of time, and that's how you get exposure. That's what I said. I actually have proof of this. I want you guys to look at this. Let's look at Twitter first. And I will actually, full disclosure, this Twitter account that I'm showing you stats for, I probably have, I don't even know, close to 50 followers. Uh, I am rarely on it, and once in a while I'll actually tweet things out. Uh, so I want you to know that before I go over these numbers, because that's the whole point. I want you to know what you can do even if your Twitter account is new. So let's look at this. So right now I have 3 months of stats starting last October. So October, November, and December 2017. Again, not a lot of stats here, but the important stuff. Tweet impressions, profile visits. So tweet impressions, basically that just means that the tweet that I put out, somebody's seen, not necessarily clicked on or anything, but it basically was put in front of a person. This happened about 300 times. Profile visits, close to 50. Small numbers, right? November, one tweet. So that's just one tweet. 345 impressions, 50 profile visits. Same thing over here. I'm not exactly sure how many tweets. Similar numbers, actually, even lower numbers. These 3 months, new account, no activity. So I really want you to pay attention to that. For January, so this is just simply the following month. I tweeted 9 times. That is nothing, right? That's twice a week, I guess, which is absolutely as if I didn't even do anything. But look at the number of tweet impressions, almost 3,000, which resulted in 120 profile visits. That means that if you even link your, I guess, depending if you have everything on Merch by Amazon under one brand and you're linking uh, the website to all of your products on your account, if 120 people visited your profile, they will see the link. So that doesn't necessarily mean that people will actually click on it, or even that it would result in anything. But it simply means that you're driving traffic uh, to your Twitter profile. Now, don't go anywhere because these numbers are about to get a lot more serious. The following month, February. Now, let me, just before I start talking about this, I'm going to go back just so you actually remember January. 9 tweets, almost 3,000 impressions, 100 profile visits. Now, these are, of course, not accurate numbers, but they're right. They're rough numbers. Look at this. February. This is where I actually started playing around with things. I tweeted almost 200 times. So what does that come down to? So to be fair, six, the rough math, doing it in my head, 6 tweets a day. That's actually very manageable. If you're even playing around with Twitter right now, I'm pretty sure that you're tweeting more than 6 times a day. You can tweet as many times as you want. Don't become annoying depending on the type of profile that you want to have. Is it personal? Is it professional? Doesn't matter. 200 tweets, but look at this. 200,000 impressions, which resulted in 400 profile visits and 315 mentions, 7 new followers. Now, this jump is something that I actually didn't even believe until I started putting all this information together for this video. I knew the results because of, for example, the time that I put in. But when I looked at the numbers closely, I was actually very surprised at the difference that it made. Let's look at one more. So I skipped a few months just to show you again. March, 158 tweets, 150,000 impressions, almost 300 profile visits, and 106 mentions. And I quickly want to go to April to show you what happens when I stopped tweeting. And I actually don't have the number for tweets right here, but I know that it was actually a lot lower. And here's the result. So it actually went down by 147,000. That is a huge number. Twitter is powerful. If you have a lot of followers, come up with some kind of a strategic plan where you're not annoying to your followers, but where you are strategic and you're bringing them either to your profile, to your tweets, where they have links available to click on. That way, that if you're driving traffic to your profile and your homepage, that you are somehow advertising the link to your store. Please pay attention to these numbers. 158 tweets a month is not that big of a number. That's 5 tweets a day. If you are really thinking about this, and I would suggest is the reason I actually put this video together is because Q4 is it's here. We're getting to October and November. These 2 months are going to be the busiest. You will have some success in December, but there's going to be a significant drop starting December 1st. So don't be surprised. So you still have 2 full months to get active. That's Twitter. Let's look at Pinterest. Right off the bat, October 2017. So this is when I actually, this was my plan last year. Q4, I wanted to get my products out there. Now keep in mind, I came up with a bunch of boards on Pinterest. I was retweeting other people's pins, but what I was doing is also pinning my products within those boards. So for example, let's say I created a board that was titled Christmas or Christmas gifts or whatever, something seasonal, something to do with Christmas. You start pinning, repinning other people's Christmas advice, top 10 things to get your friend for Christmas, whatever. And then you throw in a number of your shirts, a number of your pop sockets, whatever the case is. That's how you get it. Average daily impressions, 15,575. Average daily viewers, 5,600. Now, keep in mind that they were not looking at my pins, only at my pins. They were looking at the pins that I also repinned. But the basic idea is that they are visiting your page where you are advertising and linking your products on Amazon to your profile. So basically what I'm saying is this is This is the definition of driving traffic to your products. November, I went even a little more aggressively. This resulted, so daily impressions, 17,821, which resulted in 534,000 impressions that month, which resulted more specifically in 180,000 viewers in these 30 days. Average daily viewers, almost 6,000. Power of Pinterest. Okay, now this is actually me not even running ads, not spending any money. This is simply having time to be active, to repin and pin and create new boards. December, same thing. So it started dropping down because that was actually by choice. I knew that, by December, a lot of shopping is done, and I simply stopped. And here's where it drops off. January 2018, we're going, let me see if I have one with the math done. Yes, so this is August. So we're going, and sorry, I'm just going to scroll through. So we're going from 534,000 impressions and 180,000 viewers to numbers in low thousands, 40,000 impressions, 32 viewers in this August. So this is actually last month that's happening, but here's a part of my plan. I'm starting the same thing over again and actually even more aggressively. So this is August, and let's look at September. So even though it started slow, a couple of weeks ago, I started doing the same thing, and now we're at the end of September, and I'm getting roughly 3,000 impressions a day, and also pushing 3,000 daily viewers. That is amazing. In November, I'm actually gonna push this to, hopefully I can actually get even close to 1 million impressions, because now I have a lot more products that I can pin, and actually I've learned a lot over the last year because now I'm creating boards a little more strategically. I'm not simply pushing as many pins as possible on the same board, for example, of the same product, just different colors. Sometimes I'm even taking my time and designing really cool pins either through PicMonkey or any other website that's available, that you can even just Google that and say, how to make awesome pins or something like that. You can use your Amazon product images, put them in a nice flashy, uh, I guess, template for a pin, and then start pinning those. Again, it is time consuming. I want you to be aware of that. You can simply start pinning them, your products, directly from Amazon. Uh, but again, if you want that quality versus quantity, not that quantity doesn't work, quantity works. But I'm just saying quality sometimes can take off. Uh, it it is actually very useful, very helpful. Let's go back just to summarize everything that I talked about. These are tips and tricks for beginners. A lot of people, the initial question was, how do I get out of tier 10? How do I get out of tier 25? If you're not going to spend money on Amazon ads, on Pinterest ads, on Facebook ads, these are the things that you can do. Lower your price, buy yourself out of these tiers. These two tips are other people's tips as well. You will hear this from other people, but it works. What you can do through social media, do not forget Facebook and Instagram. These are the things, Facebook and Instagram, you have to understand that it is an ongoing job. It is an ongoing project. You have to uh, post to Instagram a few times a day. Stats show that Instagram stories are a huge hit. You might as well just, build on your stories daily. Facebook, multiple posts a day. You can even actually create a post, and then you can set a time when you want it to go live. So you can, if you have a few hours, you can work on Facebook posts for the whole week, right? But again, do not forget about Twitter and Pinterest, and we've looked at those numbers. I have a few other videos. People said, you know what, besides your update videos, sales update videos, we want you to talk about some of this educational content. That's what I'm working on. There's going to be a couple more videos where I won't only talk about merch, I'll talk about Etsy, we'll talk about Printful. Now I'm going to start showing you guys some things when it comes to eBay. Let's not forget eBay, Shopify, and we'll go from there. For right now, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please, please leave comments, ask questions, because that's the only way that I can actually figure out what new content you're interested in and what I can do to help you guys. I wish that there was somebody there to answer my questions a year ago, because now I realize how much opportunities I've actually missed out on. And if you have a chance not to go through the same thing, don't. Uh, Let me know what you think. Share any advice, opinions. And like I said a minute ago, thank you for watching.